and see what Spirit wants to reveal today. As always, keep what resonates with your heart and release anything that isn't meant for you. All right, Cancer, let's get into your reading. So, the message that I have for you today is this, and please do not take it lightly. The universe is stepping in with a warning, and it needs you to pause before you act. You stand at the edge of a decision, and what you choose next could alter everything around you. A situation is unfolding in your life, and the path you lean toward is absolutely the wrong one. The cards are stating it plainly. You are about to make a huge mistake with a specific individual. Listen before it is too late, because once this door opens fully, closing it becomes far more complicated. Something inside you already senses the friction, that uneasy pull between what you crave and what you know. Your gut has been signaling for days, maybe weeks, and you have been choosing to override it constantly. The desire to move forward feels magnetic, and the temptation to ignore every red flag feels even stronger. That is exactly why this reading arrived, because the universe will not let you walk into this blindly. Let us go ahead and dive into this, because the cards laid out exactly what you must hear. The first card we have is the Empress, and in this position, she carries a very specific warning. The Empress often speaks to nurturing, to deep connection, but here she reveals something far more unsettling. She confirms that you are pouring yourself into a situation, one that gives you nothing genuine in return. Your generosity, your warmth, your willingness to show up, it is all being consumed without real reciprocity. The Empress says you have been giving from emotional overflow, and that abundance has blinded your judgment. You fixate on what this connection could become, and you have stopped seeing what it actually is today. That gap between fantasy and reality is precisely where the mistake lives, and the Empress wants you aware. She does not appear here to punish you, she appears to remind you of your own sacred worth. The Empress sees how much you have invested, and she grieves that your devotion is being quietly wasted. Your nurturing instinct is beautiful, but it has been exploited, and the Empress needs you to recognize that. When giving becomes a pattern that costs you peace, it stops being generosity and becomes self-abandonment entirely. The next card coming through is the Two of Pentacles, and this one highlights the imbalance you carry. The Two of Pentacles shows a soul stretched thin, juggling obligations, while one critical area keeps getting neglected. You have been bending your schedule, your priorities, and your boundaries to accommodate a situation that drains you. The Two of Pentacles confirms that the effort you invest comes at the direct cost of your stability. Every time you adjust for this individual, something essential in your own foundation quietly suffers beneath the surface. The balance in your life has tilted, and the Two of Pentacles reveals you have been overlooking that. You convince yourself the sacrifice is temporary, that things will even out, but they never actually do. The scales keep tipping in one direction, and the cards demand that you finally acknowledge that recurring pattern. What the Two of Pentacles makes undeniable is that this connection is costing you more than you admit. Then we have the Seven of Cups, and this card pierces through the illusion you have been holding. The Seven of Cups speaks to fantasy, to daydreams, and to choices built on projections, not on truth. You have been constructing an idealized version of this individual, filling in their gaps with your own hopes. What the Seven of Cups makes visible is that the version you believe in does not actually exist. The qualities you assign to them reflect what you desire, not an accurate reading of who they are. This card confirms that the mistake ahead is rooted in perception, in seeing potential where only patterns live. The Seven of Cups surfaces to snap you back into clear sight, not to shame you for dreaming. Your imagination has been steering the ship, and the cards are demanding that reality take over from here. The illusion feels comfortable, it feels safe, but comfort built on fantasy will eventually collapse beneath you. The warning threaded through every card today is consistent. Do not let longing override what your instincts detect. You still have time to pause, to reconsider, and to choose differently before consequences become irreversible. This message arrived because the universe sees you at a crossroads, and it refuses to let you stumble.
Okay, let us look at what is happening within you because your inner world holds crucial answers today. You carry a quiet conflict inside yourself, one that you have not fully articulated to anyone yet. Part of you recognizes the warning signs, but another part flatly refuses to accept what they mean. The first card here is the Page of Cups, and it mirrors your emotional state with vivid precision. The Page of Cups reveals a heart that is wide open, hopeful, and desperate to believe the best. You approach the situation with the tenderness of a dreamer, seeing beauty where others might see danger. Your emotional openness is one of your defining qualities, and it shapes how you interpret every signal. When affection is offered, you absorb it without questioning whether the source behind it is actually trustworthy. The Page of Cups shows that your romantic idealism, while genuine, has become a liability in this chapter. You want so badly for this to be real that you filter out anything which contradicts that wish. Uncomfortable truths get reclassified as misunderstandings, and red flags get softened into excuses you keep repeating. The Page of Cups confirms that your heart is leading, but it leads without consulting anything else. Your mind has concerns, your body sends signals of unease, yet your emotions override every rational objection. That internal war is exhausting, and you have been fighting it privately without telling a single soul. You hold it all behind closed doors, convinced that admitting doubt would somehow betray your own feelings. The truth is that doubt is not betrayal. It is your deeper intelligence trying to communicate something essential. The next card coming through is the Five of Pentacles, and it speaks to what hides beneath everything. The Five of Pentacles reveals a deep undercurrent of loneliness, one you have been masking for months. You smile through it, you function through it, but underneath, an ache persists that never fully quiets. That loneliness is not simply about being alone, it is about feeling unseen where it matters most. You surround yourself with people, with obligations, with routines, but emptiness still finds you in quiet moments. The Five of Pentacles confirms that this emotional hunger is what makes you most vulnerable right now. When you feel starved for warmth, any offering of attention starts to resemble nourishment, even when hollow. You mistake proximity for intimacy, and you mistake consistent presence for genuine care without even realizing it. The Five of Pentacles also reveals that you neglect your own needs, pouring outward while running dry inside. Nobody fully grasps how depleted you feel because you have perfected the performance of holding it together.
Beneath that composure sits a soul craving real connection, real depth, and real consistency from another being. That craving is sacred, but the Five of Pentacles warns it must not steer your decisions blindly forward. You deserve fullness from within first, before you ever extend yourself toward a connection outside your own heart. Then we have the Ace of Wands, and this card captures the raw fire still burning within you. The Ace of Wands shows a spark of passion, ambition, and creative hunger that refuses to be dimmed. Despite everything weighing on your spirit, a part of you remains fiercely alive and hungry for more. You still believe in transformation, in fresh beginnings, and in the possibility that everything can shift beautifully. The Ace of Wands confirms that this inner fire drives you toward bold, sometimes impulsive choices quickly. You feel the pull of desire so intensely that patience becomes impossible when something captures your attention. That urgency within you is real, and it serves as both your greatest fuel and your blind spot. The Ace of Wands wants you to grasp that passion without discernment leads to choices you later regret. Your fire is sacred, your longing is sacred, but directing that flame toward the wrong target wounds deeply. Channel that energy inward first. Let it rebuild your own foundation before extending it toward anyone else. The Ace of Wands reminds you that your spark belongs to you first before anyone else claims it. Everything revealed about your inner world today paints the portrait of a deeply feeling, deeply passionate soul.
Now, let us turn the lens and examine what is truly happening inside of this individual emotionally. What they present on the surface does not match what brews beneath, and the cards expose that gap. They wear a version of themselves that is polished, measured, and designed to earn your trust quickly. The first card we have is the King of Swords, and he reveals a sharply calculated mind. The King of Swords shows an individual who operates primarily through logic, through strategy, and through control. Their emotional world is tightly compartmentalized, sealed behind walls they constructed long before you ever appeared. They do not lead with vulnerability, they lead with intellect, and every interaction is filtered through analysis first. The King of Swords confirms that their approach toward you is not guided by instinct, it is orchestrated. They have assessed the situation from every angle, weighed the risks, and decided on a calculated engagement. Feelings exist within them, but those feelings are suppressed, managed, and only deployed when strategically advantageous. The King of Swords reveals that they view connection as a chess match, not as an emotional surrender. They position themselves carefully, choosing which pieces of themselves to reveal and which to permanently withhold. Authenticity is foreign territory for them because they have spent years perfecting the art of measured response. What they show you is never the full picture. It is an edited version curated for maximum impact. The next card coming through is the Four of Cups, and this one digs into their emotional stagnation. The Four of Cups reveals that internally, they exist in a state of profound dissatisfaction and quiet apathy. Nothing in their life currently fulfills them, and that emptiness has become a permanent background noise they ignore. They have grown numb to their own emotional landscape, unable to appreciate what already surrounds them daily. Gratitude is absent, contentment is absent, and the Four of Cups confirms they operate from perpetual restlessness. They chase new experiences, new connections, new distractions, because sitting with themselves feels absolutely unbearable to them. Their interest in closeness is not born from desire for partnership. It is born from avoidance of self. The Four of Cups shows that they are emotionally bored, spiritually disconnected, and searching for external stimulation constantly. They have rejected genuine offerings in their past, overlooked loyal hearts, and dismissed what was truly valuable. That pattern of discarding what is real in favor of chasing what glitters defines their entire relational history. The Four of Cups confirms they carry an inability to receive love without eventually growing indifferent toward it. Then we have the Hanged Man, and this card exposes the deepest layer of their internal contradiction. The Hanged Man reveals that they are suspended in a state of total indecision, frozen between two realities. One part of them recognizes that change is necessary, that their patterns are destructive and self-defeating. The other part clings to familiar dysfunction because transformation requires a vulnerability they are not willing to offer. The Hanged Man confirms that they are stuck, watching their own cycles repeat without intervening to break them. They observe themselves making the same choices, engaging the same tactics, and feel powerless to alter the loop. There is a quiet resignation within them, a belief that they are simply wired this way permanently. They have surrendered to their own dysfunction, not out of peace, but out of exhausted compliance with habit. The Hanged Man also reveals that they romanticize their suffering, treating their emotional paralysis as depth, not damage. They confuse stagnation with patience, and they confuse avoidance with wisdom, and neither serves them at all. Their internal world is a landscape of contradictions, wanting closeness but sabotaging it before it becomes real, craving intimacy but retreating the moment it demands honesty, accountability, or any form of genuine mutual exchange. The Hanged Man confirms that until they choose to confront their own suspended state, nothing within them shifts. Every card pulled for their side today reveals a mind at war, completely at odds with itself. They are not at peace, they are not grounded, and they are not operating from a centered place. The cards make visible what they would never willingly reveal: a fractured interior masked by external composure. So let us look at what is actually about to unfold, because the cards show concrete movement ahead. They are not waiting around passively, and the steps they are preparing to take have already been mapped. A shift in their behavior is imminent, and it will arrive sooner than you might be anticipating. The first card here is the Three of Wands, and it confirms they are actively expanding their reach. The Three of Wands shows preparation, positioning, and a deliberate effort to broaden their access to your world. They are about to initiate contact in a way that feels organic, but is entirely premeditated underneath. Expect an invitation, a proposition, or a carefully timed gesture designed to draw you one step closer. The Three of Wands confirms they have been surveying the landscape, waiting for the ideal moment to advance. Their next move involves manufacturing an opportunity, where the two of you end up in closer proximity. It could be a social gathering, a shared project, or an encounter that appears completely coincidental to you. Nothing about it will feel forced on the surface because they have rehearsed this approach with careful patience. The Three of Wands reveals their ambition stretches far beyond a single encounter, well past casual exchanges. They are building towards sustained presence, laying tracks to normalize themselves within your daily routine gradually. Each step they take is incremental, designed to make their closeness feel natural before you question its origin. The Three of Wands confirms by the time you notice the pattern, they intend to be fully rooted. The next card coming through is the Queen of Swords, revealing the tactical precision behind their actions. The Queen of Swords shows they will deploy directness as a weapon, presenting themselves as refreshingly transparent. They are about to speak candidly, share selective truths, and use honesty as a tool to disarm you. The Queen of Swords confirms that their transparency is curated, revealing just enough vulnerability to lower your guard. They will address past issues unprompted, acknowledge flaws openly, and position themselves as a reformed individual entirely. That performance of accountability is their strongest maneuver because it mimics genuine growth without requiring actual change. The Queen of Swords warns their words will be sharp, convincing, and nearly impossible to dismiss at first. They know how to construct an argument, how to frame a narrative, and how to steer conversations expertly. Expect them to reference specific memories, invoke shared history, and use emotional anchors to rebuild familiarity rapidly. The Queen of Swords also indicates they will isolate conversations, preferring private exchanges over any group setting. One-on-one dynamics grant them more control, more room to influence, and fewer witnesses to their methods. They thrive where their persuasion meets no external resistance, no outside perspective, and no competing voice of reason. Then we have the Six of Pentacles, revealing the transactional nature of every upcoming gesture they will make. The Six of Pentacles shows they are about to extend an offering, whether a favor or tangible support. That offering is not generosity. It is an investment designed to create a sense of obligation within you. The Six of Pentacles confirms that every act of giving from their end comes with invisible strings attached. They want to become indispensable, positioned as the one who provides what nobody else around you currently can. Whether financial assistance, emotional availability, or practical help, each deposit is a calculated installment toward future leverage. The Six of Pentacles warns that accepting what they extend creates an imbalance they will eventually capitalize on. They operate on an unspoken economy of reciprocity, where every gesture demands a return they never verbalize. By the time you recognize the pattern, the debt they have quietly constructed will feel difficult to untangle. What appears as kindness on the surface is actually a binding contract, written in gestures you never signed. The Six of Pentacles makes undeniable that their generosity is architecture, not altruism, and every brick is intentional. Every move they are preparing follows a specific sequence: contact first, then trust, then dependency gradually built. The cards have outlined the full trajectory,
and your awareness of their method keeps you one step ahead. Their playbook is precise, but your knowledge of it renders every calculated step transparent from this moment forward. Now, let us enter the territory they guard most fiercely, the confessions they will never speak aloud. Beneath the strategy and the composure lives a version of them that is terrified of being truly seen. They carry admissions buried so deep, even their own conscious mind barely registers them as real anymore. The first card here is the High Priestess, and she unlocks the most concealed chamber of their psyche. The High Priestess reveals that they already know, on a subconscious level, that what they pursue is wrong. They sense the dishonesty in their own approach, but they lack the courage to confront it directly. A quiet inner voice has been telling them for a very long time that their methods are flawed. The High Priestess confirms their deepest unspoken confession is awareness. They know exactly what they are doing. They are not oblivious. They deliberately choose denial because facing the truth demands accountability they cannot stomach. The confession they swallow daily is that they have become the very individual they once swore to despise. Somewhere along the way, they crossed a line they swore they would never cross, and they remember it. The High Priestess shows that guilt exists within them, muted and suppressed, but undeniably present beneath everything. They feel it in early morning hours, in the silence between distractions, in moments they cannot outrun. That guilt does not surface as remorse. It surfaces as restlessness, as irritability, as an inability to settle. They convert shame into momentum, always moving, always pursuing, always seeking the next fixation to drown it out. The High Priestess confirms they are terrified of stillness, because stillness forces them to hear their own truth. Their truth is unbearable to them, which is precisely why they project outward instead of ever looking inward. The next card coming through is the Nine of Swords, revealing the torment they hide from every soul. The Nine of Swords shows a mind consumed by anxiety, by racing thoughts that multiply in the dark. They do not sleep peacefully, and the confession they refuse to share is that their nights are haunted. Regret visits them when the world goes quiet, replaying every failed connection and every bridge they have burned. The Nine of Swords confirms they are privately devastated by the wreckage their own patterns have created. They count relationships they have ruined, the trust they have shattered, and the love they discarded carelessly. That internal catalog of loss follows them everywhere, whispering that they cannot sustain anything real or lasting. The Nine of Swords reveals their most guarded confession. They believe they are fundamentally unworthy of genuine devotion. Not temporarily flawed, not merely in need of repair, but irreparably broken at the very core of themselves. That belief is the wound beneath all other wounds, the fracture that no external validation has ever healed. They pursue connection not because they believe it will save them, but because the alternative is the void. Then we have the Two of Cups, and it exposes the most painful contradiction living inside of them. The Two of Cups reveals that despite everything fractured within, they genuinely crave mutual, authentic partnership. The confession buried deepest is that they want real love desperately, but they sabotage it every single time. They dream of reciprocity, of being fully known and accepted, yet their behavior guarantees the opposite outcome. The Two of Cups shows that a small surviving part of them still believes in sacred, equal union. That fragment of hope is tragic because it coexists with patterns that systematically destroy every genuine connection. They will never admit every pursuit is secretly a prayer, a desperate attempt to prove they are lovable. The Two of Cups confirms they romanticize partnership while remaining fundamentally incapable of meeting its actual demands. Vulnerability, honesty, accountability, sacrifice, every pillar that love requires, is precisely what terrifies them beyond measure. Their deepest hidden truth is that they ache for exactly what they consistently, relentlessly push away. The cards have stripped every protective layer, exposing a soul that hungers for precisely what it fears most. Every confession uncovered today paints the portrait of an individual at war with their own deepest longings. They will never voice these truths willingly, but the cards refuse to let them remain hidden any longer. Okay, let us see what the near future holds, because the cards carry their final vital guidance now. The first card here is Judgment, and it announces a powerful moment of reckoning heading straight your way. Judgment confirms that absolute clarity is approaching, a moment that will redefine how you see everything entirely. You will be called to make a decisive choice, and the weight of that choice will shape everything. This is not a subtle nudge, it is a full awakening, where denial ceases to be an option. Judgment says the truth about this situation will surface, undeniable and impossible to look away from any longer. You will feel it in your bones, a certainty that cuts through every excuse you have been constructing. The fog that clouded your perception lifts completely, and what remains is raw, unfiltered reality before you. Judgment confirms that this reckoning arrives not to punish you, but to liberate you from a dangerous cycle. Once this clarity lands, you will wonder how you ever considered walking the path you were headed toward. Following that, we have the Four of Wands, and it promises stability on the other side of truth. The Four of Wands shows that once you make the right decision, peace and groundedness await you fully. A sense of quiet celebration returns to your life, not loud or dramatic, but deeply fulfilling within. The Four of Wands confirms that walking away from the wrong pathway opens every door to genuine peace. Your foundation rebuilds itself stronger than before, and those who truly belong will rally around you with warmth. Now for your advice card, we have Temperance, the most grounding guidance this reading could offer you. Temperance says to move with patience, with balance, and with intentional moderation in every decision you face. Do not react from impulse, do not act from fear, and never let emotion override your clearest judgment. Temperance advises you to find the middle ground between heart and head, letting neither one dominate fully. The wisest path forward requires measured steps, careful observation, and a refusal to rush into anything prematurely. Temperance confirms your greatest protection is composure, choosing stillness over reaction, and discernment over raw desire. When you honor your own rhythm instead of matching theirs, you reclaim the power this situation stole. Let this reading anchor you. Let it serve as confirmation that your instincts have been accurate all along. Now let me bring it all together, because the message today was urgent and demanded your full attention. The message was this: you are about to make a huge mistake.
Listen carefully before it is late. It was direct, it was uncompromising, and every card confirmed why that warning needed to reach you today. The Empress exposed imbalanced giving, and the Two of Pentacles revealed the cost to your own stability. The Seven of Cups unveiled your illusion, and the Page of Cups mirrored your wide open, hopeful heart. The Five of Pentacles uncovered hidden loneliness, and the Ace of Wands captured the fire still burning within. The King of Swords exposed their calculated mind, and the Four of Cups revealed their emotional stagnation. The Hanged Man showed their suspended indecision, and the Three of Wands confirmed their deliberate, expanding reach. The Queen of Swords revealed tactical precision, and the Six of Pentacles unmasked their transactional generosity entirely. The High Priestess unlocked buried awareness, and the Nine of Swords exposed the torment they conceal nightly. The Two of Cups laid bare their tragic contradiction, and Judgment announced the reckoning now approaching you. The Four of Wands promised peace after choosing wisely, and Temperance offered the most grounding, healing guidance. That is 21 cards, and every single one aligned to deliver this urgent message directly to you. You are seen, you are protected, and you are far more equipped now than before this reading began. Trust what was revealed today. Trust the knowing that lives inside your body, and trust your sacred wisdom. You walked into this reading at a crossroads, and the cards have illuminated the only pathway worth choosing. Thank you so deeply for being here, for trusting this space, and for honoring the cards with presence. I am sending you so much love, so much warmth, and the fiercest protection for everything ahead. Guard your peace, honor your boundaries, and know that the universe chose this moment to intervene for you. And it announces a powerful moment of reckoning heading straight your way. Judgment confirms that absolute clarity is approaching, a moment that will redefine how you see everything entirely. You will be called to make a decisive choice, and the weight of that choice will shape everything. This is not a subtle nudge, it is a full awakening, where denial ceases to be an option. Judgment says the truth about this situation will surface, undeniable and impossible to look away from any longer. You will feel it in your bones, a certainty that cuts through every excuse you have been constructing. The fog that clouded your perception lifts completely, and what remains is raw, unfiltered reality before you. Judgment confirms that this reckoning arrives not to punish you, but to liberate you from a dangerous cycle. Once this clarity lands, you will wonder how you ever considered walking the path you were headed toward. Following that, we have the Four of Wands, and it promises stability on the other side of truth. The Four of Wands shows that once you make the right decision, peace and groundedness await you fully. A sense of quiet celebration returns to your life, not loud or dramatic, but deeply fulfilling within. The Four of Wands confirms that walking away from the wrong pathway opens every door to genuine peace. Your foundation rebuilds itself stronger than before, and those who truly belong will rally around you with warmth. Now for your advice card, we have Temperance, the most grounding guidance this reading could offer you. Temperance says to move with patience, with balance, and with intentional moderation in every decision you face. Do not react from impulse, do not act from fear, and never let emotion override your clearest judgment. Temperance advises you to find the middle ground between heart and head, letting neither one dominate fully. The wisest path forward requires measured steps, careful observation, and a refusal to rush into anything prematurely. Temperance confirms your greatest protection is composure, choosing stillness over reaction and discernment over raw desire. When you honor your own rhythm instead of matching theirs, you reclaim the power this situation stole. Let this reading anchor you. Let it serve as confirmation that your instincts have been accurate all along. Now, let me bring it all together, because the message today was urgent and demanded your full attention. The message was this: you are about to make a huge mistake. Listen carefully before it is late. It was direct, it was uncompromising, and every card confirmed why that warning needed to reach you today. The Empress exposed imbalanced giving, and the Two of Pentacles revealed the cost to your own stability. The Seven of Cups unveiled your illusion, and the Page of Cups mirrored your wide open, hopeful heart. The Five of Pentacles uncovered hidden loneliness, and the Ace of Wands captured the fire still burning within. The King of Swords exposed their calculated mind, and the Four of Cups revealed their emotional stagnation. The Hanged Man showed their suspended indecision, and the Three of Wands confirmed their deliberate, expanding reach. The Queen of Swords revealed tactical precision, and the Six of Pentacles unmasked their transactional generosity entirely. The High Priestess unlocked buried awareness, and the Nine of Swords exposed the torment they conceal nightly. The Two of Cups laid bare their tragic contradiction, and Judgment announced the reckoning now approaching you. The Four of Wands promised peace after choosing wisely, and Temperance offered the most grounding, healing guidance. That is 21 cards, and every single one aligned to deliver this urgent message directly to you. You are seen, you are protected, and you are far more equipped now than before this reading began. Trust what was revealed today. Trust the knowing that lives inside your body, and trust your sacred wisdom. You walked into this reading at a crossroads, and the cards have illuminated the only pathway worth choosing. Thank you so deeply for being here, for trusting this space, and for honoring the cards with presence.